Advise you to go out there and howl at it, because you only get to do that for a limited finite number of times. That's your magic number. Nobody knows when it's going to come up. Nobody knows what happens after that. So don't forget to howl at the moon. It's going to be full technically tomorrow night. That'll be the pink moon of April 2017. And you can use the moon to help you time travel if you wait until the dark of the moon. That's going to happen on Wednesday, the 26th of April. And I would ask you to go out on that night, away from the lights of man, and gaze straight up to that zenith point directly overhead. And if it's a clear night, you see a little oval-shaped smudge of light. That's the Andromeda Galaxy. It's estimated to contain more than 1 trillion stars. It's the most distant object visible to the naked eye. There's only 8 billion human beings sharing the planet here with us, very much closer by. Some of them choose to remain distant, but the light from Andromeda is much more distant than that. It's traveled more than 2 million years, 2 million light years to reach your eye. So you're looking back in time, because by the time the starlight reaches your face, the stars have moved to some other place and have perhaps become something other as well. But whenever you try to look ahead, you miss out on here and now instead. Life's a delicate blend of happiness and sorrow, balanced precariously between today and tomorrow. And I tell you, it's a real delicate balance, which, like I said, I almost got killed running home, just driving home from here last August. I had ridden out to New Mexico, 3 days, 600 miles a day, 100 miles an hour, no problems. Came back in 3 days, 105 miles an hour, although trooper in Arkansas asked me to slow my roll. No problems. I'm riding home from here, 5 miles from home, 35 miles an hour, some kid runs over me. So I've developed situational awareness. I'm very aware that each day could be my last, and so far my life seems to have flashed by very fast. Probably because I spend a lot of time behind the handlebars. My motorcycles flash by or sometimes get passed by other cars. There have been a lot of times the ride hasn't ended well. Now and then I've had to just sit a spell and heal up, because I've wrecked a motorcycle or two. Actual counts probably 3, but so far the wrecks haven't killed me yet, but there have been times they almost did. During that crash at the end of the skid, I recall waking up in a hospital or ambulance being told I had indeed been knocked out cold. Sometimes I wonder if I'll wake up at the gates of heaven or the gates of hell. He told my last ride didn't end very well, but until then, I'm going to continue on my way, thankful for each and every day, because I realize each day may be my last, and I probably sometimes ride too fast. I spent the whole day trying to get a hold of the paralegal. The whole case has been settled. I haven't seen a cent, but the creditors know that. They've been calling me up all day. If you turn your case over for litigation, none of the insurance companies will get paid. They won't do anything until the whole thing's settled. So it's finally settled. They know it. I haven't seen a cent, and my paralegal won't call me back. I tell you what, it's like a feeding frenzy. I regained consciousness in the ambulance long enough to be told, your motorcycle was hit from behind and we're taking you to the hospital. And I passed out again and awakened later, naked on a gurney. Clothes were all cut away, partially covered by a sheet. And they were debriding abrasions on my knees. They used a little surgical brush for that. Sounds a lot nicer than it felt. Looks like that chin laceration could use a few stitches too. They put in 6. Took them out to repeat the process twice. The supervisory trauma surgeon finally signed off the intern, and then they repeated the process on my right knee. They put in 6 stitches twice, until they were satisfied on their 3rd attempt. Now, I don't know why I could have not remained unconscious for that instead of being unconscious through a completely painless CT scan. That's a procedure I don't even remember at all. That's the one I'm receiving bills and calls from the collection agents for. The kid was underinsured, although he was texting on a very expensive iPhone when he hit me without even touching his brakes. That was in August. It's April now. The sharks are still circling. They're demanding payments for each insurance company thinks should be paid by someone else. It's like a feeding frenzy. And I'll tell you, when the sharks are feeding, it's not a whole lot of fun if you're the one in the center doing all the bleeding. And that's where I've been. Well, anyway, y'all ride with your eyes wide open on the way home tonight. Try to keep the shiny side up, rubber side down. Most of all, enjoy the ride, because we ain't dead yet. But you should try to enjoy the ride because of that. And maybe I'll see you out on the highway if I don't get run over again and death doesn't intervene in between now and then.